the saddest thing about the whole evening was then I found out that Evander Holyfield was fighting, and obviously Evander's 58 and he's fighting Vitor Belford, who's a 44-year-old ex UCF fighter. And do you mean I thought it was going to be an exhibition fight. I thought, right, okay, these two are going to go and fight. Do you mean Evander Holyfield? He looks for a 58-year-old, he looked like an absolute specimen. You thought, wow, he looks something. But as soon as the bell started, first bell, he was like lethargic. He was moving like a 58-year-old man. And Vitor Belford, he went into him as if he was like, do you mean a full-on fight? He's gone in there to absolutely do him some damage. And he caught him with a horrific uppercut. And sort of like at that point, you thought to myself, this isn't quite right. This isn't an exhibition. And Vitor Belford just absolutely went in there and absolutely mullered him for about a minute and a half. And the fight was stopped. And it was sickening because I'm thinking, do you mean who is sanctioning these fights? Who, if Evander Holyfield got knocked out and didn't wake up, or do you mean had a brain hemorrhage or tumour, it would just not been right. And I look back and think of Evander Holyfield. I think of the two fights with Riddick Bowe, the fights with Lennox Lewis, and the ones with Tyson. If you ever want to watch a boxing match and sit down and spend an evening watching a boxing match, watch the two Riddick Bowe versus Holyfield fights. You won't have seen fights like it. And I mean, he was a small man. He was like a cruiserweight, undefeated cruiserweight, who went up to take on heavyweights. And it was almost like David and Goliath when he fought with Riddick Bowe. And when I think about that fight, it's sort of like it brings up goosebumps because it was such an enthralling fight. And I would say to anyone who's watching this video, once you've watched the video, go and have a look at those two fights, because I mean it will be a proper fight. And it was just a sad thing to see. The Vitor Belford, when he won, he was sort of like going around the ring, he was hugging his wife, his children. He was like celebrating, as if he was like just knocked out in prime Holyfield. It was, I mean, that was a sad thing. It sort of, I didn't like it.